May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. You are trading with RT Money. All right, and it is my pleasure to be your host. All right, I'm very happy that you decided to watch this video. Hey, if you like the video, make sure you leave a like. All right, boost me up, will you? Boost me up. That's all I ask. And leave a comment. All right. Leave a question, leave a comment, leave a concern. Or if you want me to analyze a market that I didn't cover in my weekly forecast, make sure you ask, and I'll give you some analysis. Hey, why not? I love doing it. That's why I geek out on this stuff. Now, uh, let's go to the economic calendar real quick. All right. Next week, you can see what I got highlighted here. We got the US dollar. All right. The Fed is going to come up with an interest rate. Let me tell you this. All right. When the interest rates are cut, that makes gold and silver go up. All right. That puts on a risk on market. All right. Environment. All right. Just keep that in mind. Okay. All right. And but I want you to also understand that when that interest rate happens, or when that news is launched, a half an hour later, you're going to have that FOMC press conference. All right. This can reverse what just happened a half an hour before that. Okay. So, sometimes this can be really wonky. So I want you to be very careful. You shouldn't be in the markets. I will not be in the markets at that time. I'm going to wait until after the news. I wait until the dust settles. And those are usually the times where you can make the safest and very profitable trades. Okay. Also, the pound is having an interest rate. Excuse me, interest rate decision. I almost died. Okay. So be mindful of that. That's happening on Thursday and on Friday. Well, actually Thursday too. Japan. All right. The Bank of Japan is waiting on the Fed to find out what the Fed is going to do, what kind of interest rate we're going to have, a 25 basis point or a 50 basis point uh, rate cut, because they're going to raise theirs to counterbalance what's going on in the U.S. And that could this thing could trigger all kind of havoc, volatility in the markets. And I want you to be very careful with that Japanese decision. Okay, the Bank of Japan decision. All right, and you're going to see them make statements right here on Friday. Okay, so that's the economic calendar. Now we're going to look at the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the pound, the gold, silver, U.S. oil, UK oil, and in the follow up video behind this one, we'll look at the majors, talking about the U.S. dollar index, euro, the pound, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, CAD, and the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen. Okay, starting off in this video right now with the S&P. Okay, what I want you to see is that we are this is a strong market. All right, you can see how prices making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. What happened here? Up, we still have a higher low here, and but why don't we have a higher high? Hey, it's coming. It's coming. You see how the last 2 weeks have gone? Very bearish. We thought we might be heading to, there was talk of heading down to those lows. All right. But then we have a very sharp turn with the CPI and all the rest of that mess. Look, I'm telling you what, when you see sharp turns like this, and you'll notice that the previous week, last week, we did not take out the low or the high of the week prior. All right, this is an inside bar. All right, there's a likelihood, I believe, that price is going to go up from here. Usually, a lot of most frequently, you'll see inside bars before there is a turn in the market. All right. Also, you can see that we are in. You can see I wrote it here. I wrote it here. I drew it here. A weekly fair value gap here. There's a big old weekly fair value gap that price pushed into, respected, ultimately respected. We almost filled the whole thing, and then we had the sharp turn inside. I'm looking for prices to continue higher, and the high here is going to be our draw on liquidity for this week. We go to the daily. You can see a little bit more clearly that we have bullish fair value gaps on the daily now. We have bullish fair value gaps within the weekly fair value gap. All right. You can see how price moved into that weekly fair value gap and started to turn around and push higher. All right. Creating bullish daily fair value gaps along the way, heading up towards our draw on liquidity. We are heading towards and coming close to new all-time highs. All right. I believe that's what's going to happen. You see all of this liquidity, these highs here. All right, this line could easily extend all the way over, and these are relatively equal highs. This is a huge draw on price, and I believe we're going to hit that. All right, and we may need though, because up until Wednesday, the U.S. pairs will not probably not move a whole lot. There'll be some sideways movement, and we might see something like this. You can't draw good lines here. You might see price move up to take this high, right? Then come down into the bullish fair value gap, and then come the data, come the news on Wednesday, then we get the bigger move up to take this high and quite possibly this high. Do you understand? All right, so that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to use this fair value gap or this fair value gap to move higher. All right, I am bullish in this market for the week ahead. I hope that's hope that's clear. Okay. Let me see. Let me make sure I put a little arrow up here. I don't know how that helps or who it helps, but it helps me keep track. All right. If we go to NASDAQ, very simple, very similar situation, except this is the all time high way up here for the NASDAQ. We're nowhere near that. All right. Here's the next, the most recent high made, which is the where we'll find the buy side liquidity. And you can see we have that hard turn here. All right. There's a very nice reversal right at the this bullish candle here, and we can you see how price came and tested it and moved up higher, and you can see the overall market is moving up just like the S&P. All right, if we go down to the daily, all right, that hard turn is very built similarly. We created some nice expansion candles. This is a bullish fair value gap, 1, 2. All right, and you see how price is kind of stalling here a little bit. If we see the pullback Monday and Tuesday, all right, I would not be surprised if price comes back down here, all right, into this fair value gap. I hate it when it does that. All right, curves at the end. All right, but I'm looking for price to turn around and push higher. We have those relative equal highs there, just like in the Nasdaq. I mean, in the S&P. So I'm looking for higher prices for sure. That's what I'm looking for. I'm bullish in these markets. If we go to the the Dow Jones, not the same, but you can see prices fairly bullish. Kind of sideways, but you see how it's uh, end up. It ends up keep pushing higher, and the lows remain high. All right, price did come down into a bullish fair value gap and showed respect to that bullish fair value back on the weekly, and you see how it reacted just like in the other indices. Okay, and what do I want to see? All right, we don't need that anymore. All right, you can see that price is bullish. Price is bullish. Left a bullish fair value gap here. You can see the order flow on the daily is bullish. This was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right, I'm looking for price to move up into that high. if price needs to, and I don't think it does, but it may pull back into this fair value gap and potentially use it to go higher. All right, boom, boom. That's what I'm looking for. All right, and this would mean that we would be making all-time highs again. All right, this was the most recent time they made the all-time high. The Dow made the all-time high, but I would like to see price move up there again. There is still liquidity above this high and these high. All right, this buy side liquidity, we're heading towards it. We're heading towards it. Boom, boom. All right, the Dow may be a very good play this week. I'm telling you, that it may be. Gold. If we go to gold, finally, on the weekly, you can see that after a long period of uh, this consolidation, we finally got a peak above. Price came back to test whew, to test the breakout area, and you see the response on Friday at, for the all of last week. It was a very bullish week. It ended very bullishly. Now, what I want you to see is the potential for price to create. This is the create. This is a potential bullish fair value gap that if the week closes up here, then we'll have a bullish fair value gap to potentially uh, support price moving higher. All right. If we go to the daily, we get to see something very get to see some details. All right. Why do I have this line there? This is the weekly. This is the weekly line, weekly area where we would want to see a bullish fair value gap form on the weekly. All right. If price does come back down here to this line, that would invalidate the idea. It would invalidate any bullish fair value gap. All right. Now, as it stands, that's on the weekly now. You understand? I'm going to move this. All right. On the daily, right here, we have a bullish fair value gap. All right. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for, of course, with every bullish fair value gap, I'm looking for the potential for price to continue higher from it. All right. The, this would be a test of the breakout area, right? And this is we displaced through it. I'm looking for that displacement to be tested. Boom, 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 and we go higher. That's it. Easy, easy, easy stuff. If you want to take the short hair, you can, but I'm not. I'm not. I'd rather wait for the long. I'd rather wait for the long setup. Okay. If we go to silver uh, on the weekly, you can see that this market, whew, that was a rough period there, right? Just back and forth. But I don't prefer like that that kind of price action. We rose above it, tested it, and then rose above that, and then came back into this range. All right, this range, it was bearish, 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 and now we are finding support right around this area, around 28. All right, looking at 28 being a supportive, an area of support for this market. All right, and do we see an upside? Do we see a downside? You can see that after this uh, break of market structure here, we made a low, pushed up, made another low, and then we closed above that high. All right. So what are we looking for? We're looking for price to come back into this bullish leg of structure and find support to move higher. That's exactly what happened. Found it here. That is an order block, folks. Came down to that bullish order block there, all right, which is an interior area of liquidity after taking out the external liquidity here. All right, internal, external to internal, and then back to external. That's exactly what was accomplished last week on Friday. All right, we took that external. Now, what's next? Of course, we're going to wait for price to pull back to an internal point of liquidity, which is a fair value gap or an order block. All right, for most cases, I like to look for those bullish fair value gaps. That's what I look for, because I find anyway. But we have one here, and I'm looking for price to come back down to it, to it. All right, and give us a reason to go higher. That's what I'm looking for. Easy peasy. All right, we go to crude oil. All right, U.S. oil. If we go to the weekly, how's it looking? We got a big old weekly candle here from 2 weeks ago, and then we got this nice reaction here to these lows. All right, I had oil clock the whole way from last week, and I want to make sure you understand. I put in the bottom in the comment section of all of my videos, I've been putting updates during the week. You have to check the updates. You got to check these comments. And I want you to leave comments on my comments. You understand? I'm trying to spark some dialogue with you. I want to talk to my viewers. Period. End of story. Anyway, we took that low. What do we expect after lows are taken? All right. This is a swing low here. What do we expect? A retracement. All right. We didn't get it here. We didn't get it here. We were waiting for it. And now we have the way this candle closed last week. It's a bullish candle. Very good reaction here. I'm expecting price to come back up into that. What do you call that? That bearish fair value gap. I'm getting rid of all these lines because it's driving me nuts. All right. So we have this bearish fair value gap, and I'm looking for price on the weekly now. I'm looking for price to come back into that bearish fair value gap, and look for price to turn around in it to head down. All right. If we go to the daily, all right, I marked that weekly for a reason. I don't see how we did that. Okay. All right. I'm tripping over here. All right. So I'm looking at price coming to test these lows. All right. And that's exactly what's happened. Pushing back up on the daily, but the daily fair value gap is up here. So I'm looking for, oh, come on, man. So I'm looking for price to come up here. All right. And let's see. Oh, wrong one. There you go. All right. So I'm looking for price to take out these highs and hit that fair value gap inside of the weekly fair value gap, and find some resistance there and come on down. All right. Same deal with the UK oil. All right. Same deal. I got it marked already for you. And I want you to see that it adds up to the same. Boom, boom. That's what I'm looking for. This is a weak market. They are weak markets, and I'm looking for a price to come down and take these the sell side liquidity. All right. Let me go back to smooth oil. Let me go back to crude oil, and we have this target here. I'd like to see hit, but this is the immediate external liquidity, and I'm looking for that external liquidity to be snatched up. Okay, that's crude oil, and that is UK oil. All right, we're looking for these lows to get hit. Oh, I'm looking for this short. You can take the long up here if you'd like. There's plenty of profit to be taken, but I'm going to wait till it gets up here and look for the turnover. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Now, I want to make sure that you leave a like on this video. Do it now, please. If you liked the video, if you want to see more of it, if you have a question or concern or a comment, I love to get them and I love to respond to them. Also, uh, 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 make sure that you trade carefully this week and watch the news. All right, watch the news, because I don't want anybody getting uh, caught in some herky jerky movement. All right, make sure you check these comments under this video so that you can catch the updates. I put the updates in them during the week. Okay, may profits be upon you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.